Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nalini Bansal and let us discuss a case of an ileal polyp today. So these are one of the common specimens that you get from the small bowel, and they're usually seen as a polypoidal protrusion either into the lumen, or at times it could also cause intussusception of the bowel. So let's see how we are going to approach these cases in which the polypoidal protrusion, intraluminal polypoidal protrusions are being sent to us. So let's begin this, and what we see here is a small bowel mucosal epithelium. Now, the small bowel mucosal epithelium is composed of villi, but we see that there is little blunting of the villi here. Now, coming down from the villus into the lamina propria, so this is the lamina propria, and here we could see that this is a thin rim of muscularis mucosa, which is more pinkish in color as opposed to the submucosal tissue that we are seeing here. Now, here what we are seeing is there is significant expansion of the submucosal region, and this significant expansion of the submucosal region is being caused by the mesenchymal tissue proliferation. And why I'm saying mesenchyme, because I could see some stromal cells in the proliferated area, which we are seeing here. So then this is the entire submucosal region which is showing you expansion. In the entire submucosal expanded lesion, we could see that there are proliferated vessels, like these are all proliferated vessels that we are seeing here. And on going on the high part into these vessels, we could see that these are the thin stromal cells that are there within the submucosa. And in addition, we have certain vessels where there is a appearance as if the stromal cells are going in a concentric fashion around the blood vessel. So here it as like we say for the onion skin appearance, so the vessels are also showing little onion skin appearance, and these mesenchymal cells, they go in a concentric fashion around the vessels. So this is one of the features that we usually see in these cases, but this is not pathognomonic, and we, even if it is absent, we can diagnose these cases based on the location of the lesion, whether in the submucosa, and what type of inflammatory cells that we see. So in addition to these fibroblasts and the stellate cells that we are seeing, there is also a admixture of component of inflammatory cells like these eosinophils and plasma cells there. So these are the another component of these lesions that you see proliferated mesenchymal tissue, you see onion skinning, concentric thinning around the blood vessels, and there is a sprinkling of inflammatory cells. And if the lesion is composed, it is confined mainly in the submucosa, then we will say that these features are compatible with the inflammatory fibroid polyp. So these lesions are distinct from other polyps that we see in the small bowel, and these are not just because if you do a CD11 stain, then they'll be negative. And the next thing that we should know is that these inflammatory fibroid polyps, they are basically in the submucosa, and they have no relation with the muscularis propria. So basically the muscularis propria will be intact, but these are just the proliferation which is occurring within the submucosal region, and thereby it is causing the expansion of the submucosa. And these will also be accompanied by little inflammatory cell. An important thing to differentiate these lesions is from inflammatory myofibroblastic tumor, and in those cases, since this lesion, as you could make out, is confined mainly in the submucosa, the inflammatory myofibroblastic tumors that we see, they are usually seen on the mesenteric side of the bowel. So they are not seen in the submucosa, and those lesions are seen involving the mesenteric part of the bowel. So they will be outside the muscularis propria. The component of inflammatory fibroblastic polyp will be similar to what we see in a fibroid polyp, but there will be more of inflammatory cells, that is plasma cells and eosinophils. So at times they are also called as plasma cell granulomas, and those lesions will also be positive for ELK at times, though it is not definitely required for the diagnosis. So if the lesion is based on the mesentery, we are going to call it as an inflammatory myofibroblastic tumor, whereas if the lesion is confined to the submucosa, we are going to call them as inflammatory fibroid polyp. So this was a case of inflammatory fibroid polyp that we had discussed today. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patient hearing.